the type of person who really believes that the Most High God, the divine, is the creator, okay? The creator of all things. But I do believe that we are many creators. And when you hear people say we were made in God's image or God lives within us and we are a reflection of God, the way I personally interpret that, that's me, okay? The way I interpret that and the way I have seen things go in my life means that I have some type of level of power. If I have the ability to create my reality and change things in my life with my thoughts and my feelings and my actions, that means that I have some type of power. I have some type of control because God gave us free will. No, none of us will ever be more powerful than God, but he gave us some type of power because we can't be out here fending for ourselves and he can't do every single thing for us, okay? Which is why I'm very big on transmutation and working with energy and life in general, just working with what God gives you and what life gives you, okay? And something I discovered on my journey is that in order to access higher levels of power, you really need to understand how to transmute energy. And that can sometimes be confusing to people, but if I bring it down to a practical level, transmuting transmuting energy is just changing one energy to another form, which is, that's energy period. If you know anything about physics, it's you can change energy from one state to another. Okay, so how I do that on a basically a practical level, which is really a very spiritual thing, is I just take my hardships of life. So I take the trauma that I've been through, the L's I have taken, any negative experience I've ever had in my life, I take those experiences and I turn it around. I manipulate it and turn it into something for my highest and best good. A great example of transmuting energy and basically increasing your power and shifting timelines and manifestation, all of that. A great example of that, if you guys are big on TikTok, or even if you're not, there's a woman, I don't know her name, I'm so sorry, but she did like a 50-part story of this guy she was either married to or engaged to or whatever, who basically tricked her and was a complete compulsive liar, narcissist, all of that. She basically shared her story on TikTok. It went so viral and it changed her entire life, okay? She took a situation that she went through, a very negative situation that caused her some sort of pain. She shared it and allowed it to empower her, she shared that story to like teach other women and teach other people and bring awareness and again, allow it to empower her and just share her message and use her voice, her God-given voice. And it turned into something big, not just because she went viral, but from what I have read, my good sis made some coins off of that situation. And hey, you can never go wrong with some extra money in your pocket. So it has changed her life for the better, her sharing her story. But because she did not let that situation defeat her and she allowed it to empower her, she turned her pain into her power, she shared her story, it worked out in her favor. That is transmutation. And I always try to tell people, whether you believe in this stuff or not, we are always transmuting energy. We are always manifesting things with our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. But it's those people who take what life gives them, the hard lessons, and they don't let it defeat them. They let it strengthen them. So if you want to be able to tap into some real power, especially for those of you who have been through a lot, you need to heal. You need to heal your trauma. You need to look at the skeletons in your closet. You need to pull out all that filth that you got lingering inside of you. Stop suppressing it. Stop pushing it down. Look at it. Start the healing process. Start the process of transforming it. Look at that situation and those situations from a completely different perception and figure out what you learned from those lessons instead of sitting around crying about it forever and throwing the pity party and playing the victim. Okay, you can decide, am I going to be the victim Or am I going to be the victor? Okay. And being the victor, it sounds way better than being the victim. Yes, I know that some of y'all have been through some very harsh, traumatic things that are very hard to come back from. I completely understand that. Definitely not trying to be insensitive. I'm just saying, unless you plan on checking out, which I really hope you do not, I'm praying that you stay with us. You got to figure out how to heal yourself from that situation and turn it around for in your favor, okay? If you decide I'm not gonna run away from my pain and I'm about to stare in the face of fear and death and trauma and basically make it my B word, then you can access a certain level of power. And the crazy thing about life, and I don't know if God does this intentionally, the crazy thing about life is the people who go through the most and have the most trauma in their life are the ones who have the potential to tap into the most power. That's a lot of energy to work with. That's a lot of negative energy to work with that can be transmuted into positive energy or a shift in timeline or your manifestation, whatever the case may be. Okay, I can even use my channel as an example. Okay, I started my channel through my healing journey, but also after I had dealt with some pain from my past that I pushed down, and I decided I'm going to use my voice. I'm going to create a platform. I'm going to do something that would make me uncomfortable, and I'm going to share my story, but I'm also going to teach people things, and it turned into like a whole thing. That's transmutation. That's me turning my pain into my power. I could have went to drugs and alcohol and anything else, and that would have destroyed me or really set me back. But I said, no, I'm not no weakling. I'm not a punk. And also I want more out of life. Like, I want to be able to give my daughter a good life. Like, I want these things. What do I need to do? And that thing was, look at my trauma. It's not something that's easy. It's not something that everyone is willing to do. And unfortunately, some of y'all are like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. You mean if I want to access some type of power, if I want to access like my gifts and reach my highest potential, I have to heal, I have to transform, I have to become a new person? Yes, you do. Because the version of you that experienced that trauma and is holding on to that trauma is completely different from the version of you who has released it and healed from it, okay? It really does empower you. And I don't mean power like you're going to be shooting lightning out of your hands, okay? When I say power, I mean your personal power, your confidence, success, beauty, whatever the case may be. You're going to be able to tap into that. Some of y'all have gifts. That could be spiritual gifts or gifts on a more practical level, which are still kind of spiritual, like acting, singing, cooking. All of those things can still be seen as spiritual, but some of y'all have gifts that are laying dormant inside of you that you will not be able to access until you begin the steps to heal. And it's unfortunate that you are not responsible for your trauma, but you are responsible for healing it. But what are you going to do? Like, you have a choice. Staying the same is hard, and changing is hard. You really just got to pick your heart, especially like I said, if you plan on sticking around, because there is a lot of goodness to come. The world may be seeming some type of way, and I'm not saying that the things that are going on are not reality for a lot of people. It's just that because I'm spiritual and this is just what I believe, I understand how energy works, and I understand that they will specifically do things to the masses on purpose because they understand if you have a large population of people living in fear and putting out those thoughts, creating those electrical thoughts and those magnetic feelings of fear surrounding certain situations, they understand the powers that be, what they can manifest off of that, okay? Thoughts are electric, feelings are magnetic. So if all of us are living in fear, we are basically helping to manifest whatever negative outcome they want from us. Doesn't mean that you're not aware, doesn't mean that you can't protest, doesn't mean that you can't stand up for what's right. or anything like that. It just means you cannot move with fear. You still have to move with love. You still have to wake up every day and express gratitude. Like, you have to find your happy place, because they want us to be miserable. They want us to be in fear. They want us to live in lack. That's what they want. Okay. They're trying to get rid of as many of us as possible, but a few of us can see what's really, really going on. If you can look at what's going on from a higher perspective, like from like God's level, you see things completely different. Okay. Becoming the type of person who can think like that does depend on how much you work on your mental health, how much you are increasing your intuition, keeping your third eye open, putting good things in your body, staying hydrated. All that does go into it, which is also why they're attacking our food. Okay. But I'm gonna leave that for another day. I don't even want to get into that right now. The point of this video is basically what I said. Like, if you want to tap into some type of power, yeah, trauma, healing, negativity, that's what you have to work with. You have something that you can work with, whatever it is, even if it's from like your childhood. It could be a recent experience. You have the potential to transform yourself by actually dealing with it. That's all you have to do. Yes, it's easier said than done. Yes, it's a process. Yes, it will take time, but it's literally that simple. That is how you tap into your personal power. That is how you become a master manifester. That's how you really, really get good at alchemy. That's how you do it. You don't ignore the things that you've gone through. You don't push them down and suppress them. You deal with them, because when you deal with them, you're removing them, you're releasing them. It's a full moon this weekend. Full moons are about releasing. So if you need to journal, you need to cry, you need to talk to God, whatever it is that you do to release and clear out old energy, that is also a part of transmutation. That's what you need to do. Just like the moon goes through cycles, so do we. Okay. We go through different cycles. We're going to go through our ups and downs in life. You just have to get to the point where life is no longer like the big roller coaster ride where you're just going all the way to the top. You're experiencing high highs and then you just plummet to the ground. That's not how life is supposed to be. Life is supposed to be like this. You're supposed to go with the flow. Yeah, we're going to have our ups and our downs, but we're flowing. We're not soaring and plummeting all the time. And if you find yourself in that situation, I guarantee you it's because there's some steps missed in between that soaring and that plummeting that you're ignoring. Okay. That is how you tap into your power. That is how transmutation works. It's literally that simple. I really don't know another way to explain it. I just know that those of you who have a lot of trauma, you got a lot of energy to work with, babe. You got a lot of energy to work with. You just need to decide for yourself what you're going to do with it.